patient of mine for 24 years. And how old were you when you were diagnosed with attention issues?
I believe I was 10 or 11.
Okay. And I think you grew pretty well and pretty strong. And how did the medicine, or what I like to call a pair of brain glasses that helps you to focus on one thing at a time, how could you explain how the medicine helped with middle school and high school?
The medicine, basically, the biggest difference I could tell with the medicine was just the level of focus that I was experiencing. It was easier for me to keep my attention on one thing at a time rather than get distracted by something or have my thoughts wander. So basically it was mostly a focus thing. I think that's the biggest thing I noticed out of the medicine.
Excellent. Excellent. So finishing projects became much more normal for you?
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't like this was a smart pill that made you move to the head of the SAT class and everything, but did you feel like, compared to your peers, when it came to being able to focus on something that wasn't that fascinating, you could do that?
Yeah. That, and it helped me to remember homework. It helped me to remember responsibilities. Just overall, it's almost hard to try to explain the effects that the medication has on you, but you just notice that you are a little bit more in tune with the things you need to be doing rather than aimless wanderings.
Well, that's good, because scientists today are using the expression working memory. Working memory is in the frontal lobes, and it's like executive function. So if you hear those two expressions, executive function, working memory, Bo just described it. Being able to prioritize and do one thing at a time that you really are supposed to do, and not be genuinely surprised, oh my gosh, it's 9:30 and I have a report due tomorrow and we've been watching the Nuggets beat Sacramento on the TV. I mean, that's fun, but it's not really putting your priorities where they belong.
Right.
So that really helped at school.
Yeah, it did.
What about, you get along with your peers pretty well and you had good friends. What did you put in your life besides the medication? I mean, before I even get to that, did you do the long-acting medication? Were you doing Concerta?
I was doing Concerta.
Okay. And it really helped even through college, hasn't it?
Yep. Actually huge help in college.
Well, before we get to college, what did you do in high school that you think might have also helped your ADD?
One thing that I just noticed, I don't even know if it relates with ADHD or not, but just life in general, was sports. But it definitely did help with ADHD. Football and wrestling mainly. Pretty much, I think it has something to do with the endorphins you get from working out. I think that has something to do with it, but the other thing was just, it kept me fresh, it kept me motivated, it just really helped. I don't even know how to explain it, but sports was something that really helped.
And that's what I hear over and over again. People who didn't have the Concerta or the Vyvanse, the medicine, but who found out they had ADD later in adulthood,
Yeah.
after college, they would say, that's right, when I was on the swim team and I was swimming 2 miles a day, my grades were better. And it really speaks well for exercise, but besides the exercise, what about the wrestling coach, the football coach? Did they give you some advice or help getting through some of the tough things in high school?
Yeah, actually, my wrestling coach I'm still very close with, and he helped me out a lot through high school. It was learning values, morals, learning how to work hard, keep at things, not give up. You know, just really, with wrestling in general, most people can't even look another person in the eyes, let alone, you know, fight them out on a mat. So sports sports in general help you to grow as a person, huge. And my coach, Ray Barron, was a big part of me growing up, was teaching me that kind of stuff. And now that I'm a head coach at a middle school for wrestling, I like to kind of pass that on to my kids too. Just, the values of working hard, not giving up, having fun, knowing what you got to do.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So, remember that sign I had back there in the race car room? Pills don't create skills. They're just a pair of glasses, to help you
Right.
focus. It sounds like you also took it on yourself to be coachable
Right.
and look for those skills from other mentors.
Yes.
So would you say to other parents of children with ADD who are 11, 12, 13, that helping them find good mentors like Ray,
Yes.
your wrestling coach,
Yeah.
is an important treatment also?
It's huge. I mean, especially for people who may not be able to afford medication, maybe, that's probably something that is 100% important, is finding someone who can help guide your son or daughter to a more meaningful life, just have someone guide them as they grow and help to make sure that they're doing the right things.
And I'm sure you saw that in church youth groups, and
Yeah.
you saw young people who learned it in their music programs, and maybe even in debate or drama.
Definitely.
You happen to learn it in sports, and that's good.
Yeah.
And tell me something else. You're 24. You did take the medicine through college.
Yep.
Would you recommend that all the behavioral things that you've done, I'm sure you continued with exercise,
Yeah.
lifting weights, cardio, that helped out in college, but how did the medicine help you with getting through college?
With college, there's a lot on your plate in college, and like I said, the focus is a huge part of that. I could definitely tell the difference. I mean, you've got these huge papers due in college, like 20, 40-page papers. Without the medication, I honestly, literally don't think I could have kept my attention on the computer for hours at a time without having that medication, it's just, there's a lot of fun things to be doing in college, and there's a lot of work to be done too. And in my particular case, without the medication, I don't know if I would have been as focused without taking it. So.
Do you still think your college experience, you could sit down with your kids and say, you had fun at parties too?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it wasn't like you were Mr. Robot Nerd
No.
on Saturday night sitting in the library.
No.
I mean, and you don't have to tell me what you did at those parties, but you felt like a normal college person.
Definitely. Yeah. I had the party experience as well as the academic experience, so I had it all.
And really, growing into adulthood, it's kind of nice to be able to be exposed to that, but not go overboard in either way.
Right. And that goes all the way back to the people that you're learning to grow up with, like my mentors when I was growing up in high school, people telling you, what should be going on, your parents, your wrestling coach. A lot of that comes from the people who are telling you, like your doctor, where you should be. Yes. What you should be doing, you gotta have that, people gotta keep telling you, reminding you, it's okay to have fun, but keep it in check, what you need to be doing.
So it's working for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And do you think, as an adult, that you picked a career that you can enjoy with being an adult with ADD?
Yeah. Well, I think just in general, kids with ADD, ADHD have much more creative personalities, from what I know, from what I've experienced. And when you can learn to cope and live with ADHD or ADD, that really actually is on your side in those creative professions. I'm right now, I just created my own film festival, shot and directed my first film, working on my second one, also working in creative advertising right now, and I love it. It's something that I probably wouldn't be very happy if I was in any other job besides these